I've been using this iPad Pro as my only computer for almost a year now. I traded in my MacBook for this M4 iPad Pro back in the month of May of 2024, and I have loved it. It has been an awesome experience for me. Hey everyone, Tech Dad here, and maybe you're thinking of trading in your MacBook for an iPad Pro, and you might be onto something there, but before you take that plunge, you really need to ask yourself a few important questions. So back when I did this trade-in, it was really nerve-wracking. I had never tried this before. I didn't know if the iPad was going to work for me long term to replace all the work that I do. I wondered if I could pull it off or if I would actually really regret doing it. So before I traded in my MacBook and got this iPad Pro, I asked myself a few questions about my work life, what I use this device for, and will it really meet my needs or not. I also had to ask some questions about my personal life and how I wanted to use this device at home and for recreation. So in this video, I want to break down 3 questions that you should be asking yourself before you trade in your Mac and go full iPad Pro all the time. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the first question you want to ask yourself is, are you looking for a premium, industry-leading consumption device? So if you're in the market for an iPad and you're looking at iPad Pros, you want the best of the best, and that's what you're going to get with this device. The M4 iPad Pro has an industry-leading display. It is an OLED display. It has incredible brightness. It really reduces glare because it is so bright. This display is the only OLED display that Apple currently offers, and it is absolutely brilliant. When you consume content, you are going to love how little glare you have, how it has virtually no reflection, and if you want to pay the extra price bump, you can get the nano textured glass, which reduces glare and reflection even further. I didn't go for that in this one, but I might do it next time on my next upgrade cycle because I'm a content creator and I record this screen a lot, and it might be helpful to have less glare. The M4 iPad Pro also comes with an industry-leading chip and processor, and it shows. The iPad Pro has computer-level processing packed into it, so it starts at 8 gigs of RAM, but you can get up to 16 gigs of RAM along with the M4 processor. And so that's going to handle just about any consumption that you could think of, any kind of mobile gaming, and really that processor is more beneficial in your work life, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. This iPad also has incredible battery life that lasts all day without being charged, so battery life is top-notch. It also has the thinnest design. It's super light. It has the smallest bezel, so you get a lot of screen real estate. It just looks beautiful. It's a premium level tablet. Of course, along with all these premium features, you get that premium price point. So the tablet starts at $999 for the 11-inch version and $1299 for the 13-inch version, which is what I got. I love that size because I wanted to replace my computer, but I paid that premium price for it. So that's something you're going to have to consider is, do I want to pay that much money for a premium tablet? If you're going to replace your MacBook, I'd recommend it. Okay, so if you're looking into the iPad Pro for replacing your computer, you're probably wondering, hey, can I do work on this thing? That is the big critical question. Well, I would ask you specifically this: do you use a very specific software for your work? So many of us use Microsoft Office and Google Docs, and those things are available on the iPad Pro. The versions are a little bit different, but I've been using both of those software packages for almost a year now. At work, in an office environment, I am a project manager during the day, and I have to have those pieces of software all the time. I have to be using Microsoft Office, I have to make Word docs, I have to make PowerPoint presentations, and it works. It's met my needs for that common office use that most people are doing. You also have some powerful video editing software options on the iPad Pro. They do have Final Cut Pro for iPad now, and that's what I use to edit all my content for YouTube. It's an awesome piece of software. However, there are some limitations to it. A lot of people complain that you can't do plugins like you can on a Mac. And so plugins offer all kinds of extra features that aren't baked into the software out of the box. And so that might be a deal breaker for you. Maybe you're a professional video editor and you need those plugins. Well, you're not going to get it on iPad yet, but I do hear it's coming. Also, if you used advanced features of Microsoft Office, you might be missing out on some of those. I know there are certain things like macros on Excel that you can't do on the iPad version. So if you're a developer or something like that, the iPad version of Excel might not cut it. There are also some softwares that just flat out don't run on the iPad. So for example, if you use IBM's SPSS software, maybe you're into statistics and data analysis, that does not run on an iPad, and there is no good substitution for it in the App Store. Also, if you do work in web applications, that can run very differently on the iPad browsers. So Safari has come a long way, and I'm able to do a lot in the browser. For example, Google Docs actually works pretty well inside the Safari browser now. But I use another program called Smartsheet, which is fully browser-based, and it works pretty well for the most part, except for there's that annoying feature where you can't swipe left. This is a huge deal when you're working with Sheets because you need to be able to scroll left on a sheet. But on the iPad browser, when you swipe left, it actually is like using the back button in a browser, and so you completely lose where you're at in Smartsheet. It's kind of a big deal. I've made a workaround where I use the arrow keys to go left instead of swiping around with the trackpad, but it's those sorts of things that may not work well for you if you use a lot of web applications and you're trying to use that mobile browser. And don't think that an app can replace it. So there is a Smartsheet app in the App Store, and it is absolutely terrible. It has almost no functionality to it at all. You can't really even copy and paste very well. It's not suitable for real productivity and work. So make sure you know your softwares well, and make sure that it can run well on the iPad. All right, so the third question that I'll ask you is handwriting, artistry, teaching, or training an important part of your job or an important part of your lifestyle? So that was the big selling point for me, because not only am I a project manager, but I'm also a teacher in the evenings. And I really love the iPad because of the Apple Pencil. And that is just something that the Mac does not offer. And so I do all kinds of lessons with my iPad. It's my portable whiteboard. I can pull up PDFs and write on top of those. I can create presentations and write on presentations. It's particularly useful when I teach math, because it's so hard to teach math without using actual handwriting. And so I can crunch through formulas and demonstrate math problems with ease on the iPad, which was really important to me. And so if you are someone who writes, draws, teaches, and you need that handwriting flexibility, the iPad Pro is absolutely amazing. And with the most advanced display and the best processor, there's no lag, there's no latency, it feels natural. And you get access to the Apple Pencil Pro, which has a lot of great touch gestures so you can change tools quickly. It's just been an awesome experience that a computer just can't give me. Okay, so those are the three questions I asked myself before I replaced my MacBook with this iPad Pro. I have loved it. I've had a great experience, and I've got lots of content on my channel that explains how this has been going for me the past year. Be sure to check some of that out. If you answer these questions like I did, I think you're going to be confident that you really can replace your Mac with an iPad Pro. But again, it's not for everybody. If you answered no to some or a lot of those questions, maybe this isn't the right device for you. You may want to just stick with that MacBook. If you've actually tried this like I have, I'd love to hear from you. You can leave a comment below. That's all I got for you. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.